What up, everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas,
And I'm T-Bone.
and we're coming at you with another video today. And before we get started on this one, I would like to apologize for, again, everything being out so late this week. You're going to get a flurry of videos tonight. School sucks. That just is what it is. I had a really big test on Tuesday, and so that dominated a lot of my time, and then we just had other stuff going on yesterday, so we do apologize. We're gonna try to get back to more of our normal schedule going forward, but we did kind of hit a bit of a heavy exam period, and school comes first, so we apologize and enjoy 4 videos in one day. We're gonna try to pump out all 4 tonight. So, gonna have loads of football content going on the weekend for you. So with that being said, let's get into it. The New England Patriots fall to the Washington Commanders 20-17, and this is a game we should have won. Did we look like a team who all of their best players were hurt? Yes. Yes, we did. We absolutely did. Kendrick Bourne's absence was very much felt. Demario Douglas, though, had himself a good game. Juju Smith-Schuster, until that one play, looked really good. It was like, oh my god, this is the Juju that we signed. Like, throughout the whole game, it's like, oh yes, this is the Juju that we signed, and at the end it was like, ah, this is the Juju that we signed. Just, I don't know, man. Mondre Stevenson finally had himself a good game, broke off a long touchdown run, the longest touchdown of his career. I believe it was 64 yards. Wasn't amazing outside of that, but finally lashed what we know he can do. Nice touchdown catch by Hunter Henry. He had a solid game. Tyquan Thornton, dude, didn't look good. His route running was something special. Oh, my word. And by
And not
special,
the
I
good
mean
kind.
he belongs in the Special Olympics the way he was running those routes. It was ugly, man. The route running today generally wasn't very good. Jalen Rieger had some not so great routes. Had one good route. Mack drops a 60-yard dime into the hands of Jalen Rieger, and Rieger drops it. This was in the second half when the Patriots offense couldn't get anything going. They had a field goal at the beginning of the half, and that was it. No points for the rest of the half, largely because the receivers couldn't do anything. Washington put man coverage up the entire game. And Washington secondary, they're solid, but they're not anything special. But New England just doesn't have the talent to beat man coverage, not with Bourne and Parker out. Like, at this point, the only good route running receiver you have left is Pop Douglas. And, like, he had a good game. He did what he needed to do. But everyone else, it wasn't good. There's all sorts of tape of all sorts of guys, like, running routes that suck. You know, Tyquan, Gesicki, Rieger. It wasn't good. Why Booty didn't play? I don't know. I'd like to see him out there because he has a bit more explosiveness to him than all these other guys. Besides Douglas. Douglas is the most explosive player on the team, even when Bourne's on the field. But Bourne is just the better player because he's older, more experienced. I think Douglas long-term will be a better receiver than Bourne, and that's high praise. I think Kendrick Bourne is a very good receiver, but you definitely felt the injuries in the offense. You felt them on the defense, too. The defense gave up way too much in this game. And you're like, oh, 20 points, that's not too bad. Honestly, the defense kept us in the game in the second half. But they also sucked at the same time. The defense was both very good and very bad. Jawan Bentley, I want to give him a shout-out because whoo, he had a good game. He had a game. You know, Kyle Duggar, crucial interception at the end of the first half. Defense got a great stop there after doing not so well on a drive. The tackling, again, was a problem. Well, especially on that third down and 23. If Sam Howell is getting tackled by two guys at the same time, there is no universe in which he should break that tackle. What are we doing? Also want to shout out Jelani Tavai for getting the fumble that basically put us on the map in this game. Because without that fumble, we weren't doing squat. And then Mac makes a beautiful throw to Henry, who goes up and gets it. And Mac had a lot of great throws today. Mac had a few misses, including two, an open tight one at the beginning of the game. But Mac also made a lot of great throws. And overall, Mac didn't do anything to make us lose this game. And on the last drive, he was actually making plays to help us win. But Juju Smith-Schuster dropped the ball. Jones put a perfect ball into the hands of Smith-Schuster. Dropped picked. And the crazy part is the announcers had the audacity to blame Mac Jones for the interception. They said he was forcing the issue. And that he didn't need to make that throw. 30 seconds left in the game. 0 timeouts. You need 10 yards to get into field goal range, and field goal range is 50 plus. So a long field goal. 10 yards just to get into long field goal. What does Mac Jones do? Throw a perfect football into the hands of a receiver 10 yards down the field. Remember, 30 seconds, 0 timeouts. 10 yards needed just to put it in a place where Raylan can make it. In what universe is that forcing the issue? That is Mac Jones doing his job. And that's Juju Smith-Schuster failing at his. And that one hurts, because 2 plays earlier, Juju Smith-Schuster had a really good catch. An absolutely clutch catch on 4th down. I thought that was going to be an incomplete pass. And he made a great play. I'm like, yes! It's like I said before, yes! This is the Juju that we signed! 2 plays later, this is the Juju that we signed. It's so frustrating. This team shows me good things. They show me they can hang with anybody. We hung around the Eagles. We hung around the Dolphins twice. We hung around the Dolphins twice. We beat the Bills. We beat the Jets. Like, this team, I understand that we're hurt. When you're down 3 of your top 5 players on the team, that sucks. That sucks for any team. If the Kansas City Chiefs lost Mahomes, Kelsey, and Jones, their season is over. They're screwed. So I understand it is very, very hard to win football games without your key players. But this is a game that we should have won. And it's so frustrating knowing that I know what this team is capable of. secondary had an awful day. Jackson and Jack Jones. I have to say the first name for Jack Jones. I was about to say Jones, but nope, we have 4 Joneses on the team because why not? But J.C. Jackson and Jack Jones benched for the first 2 drives because they were late to curfew. Now people are reading into that situation and they're like, oh, that means the locker room's falling apart. I think that's a load of nonsense.
Bill's been known to do that. I don't know. I don't know why he would.
And even when they were in the game, they sucked. They sucked. It was not good. And I do want to give credit. Washington's offense played well. Sam Howell played well. They game planned very well. So I don't want to take that away from the Commanders. I do want to give them credit because they did exactly what they needed to do. This was one of the best games they've had because they game planned well. So I have to give Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell and everyone else on this team credit for what they were able to do.
And Riverboat Ron.
Yeah, he's a defensive coach.
I could sneak past you.
Look, man, when you make a remark about how Frank Reich is the first ever Panthers coach who is an offensive-minded coach hired, it's not hard to know, oh, he's a defensive coach. You can get out of here with that.
See, folks? Vegas cares. He loves. Even a Patriots fan can love. One could imagine a Patriots fan happy.
We were for a long time, man.
I have a question, actually. Vegas, this is slightly on topic, a little off. Is Mac your guy? Is Mac your guy?
Not on New England. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones can be a great football player. I just don't know if he can be a great football player on the New England Patriots. And this is something that I said a couple weeks ago. I would love to see him succeed, but I'm at a point where I have no clue if he can succeed on the Patriots. I feel like he needs a fresh start at a place that can, protect him and give him good options. Like I genuinely think Atlanta. I think a place as Mac Jones could go and thrive. I do think Atlanta, genuinely. And also, on the protection front, I do want to give our offensive line a shout-out. This was hands down our offensive line's best game, and that's without Trent Brown. 0 sacks. No sacks. Was the run game a little iffy? Yeah. No sacks given up. City Sal, by the way, was the best rookie offensive lineman in the entire league this week. He is turning out to be a mid-round gem. So another great draft pick by Belichick there. Michael Onwenu to the right tackle position, move of the season, and he'll be staying there for the rest of the year, and hallelujah, baby! We got our offensive line figured out pretty well. Unfortunately, too late in the season, and the injuries have just been killer, but it is what it is. But back to Mac Jones' future, and honestly, at this point, it's the future of the Patriots we got to talk about, because this is the last opportunity for New England to turn it around. Season's done. We're not making the playoffs. It's not happening. If we wanted to make the playoffs, we could afford to lose at most 1 game. If we lose 2 more games, it's officially over, for good. If we somehow manage to run the table, which, given the state of our team, not just with injuries, But to the degree that they have been underperforming, I don't see it happening. I don't. And it sucks to say, it hurts, but unfortunately, that's just reality. I wanted to believe. I really, really, really did, because I know that this team has the potential. But at the end of the day, potential don't mean jack. It's what do you actually go do on the field. And it hasn't happened, so... And so now you're at a crossroads in a lot of different ways. Obviously, there have been major questions about Bill Belichick's future with the Patriots. Now, Bill will finish out the season, I will guarantee that. They will not fire him mid-season. Can I see the Crafts firing Bill Belichick? Yes. Will they? I don't know. It entirely depends on how the rest of this season goes. I
Who's that young guy you've been talking about, Vegas? At least with me, off camera.
Gerard Mayo
There we
is
go. I heard someone else talk about.
Gerard Mayo is a guy who a lot of Patriots fans have kind of assumed is the heir apparent to Bill. And honestly, I'd love to see Gerard Mayo be the head coach long term. But if I'm being perfectly honest with myself, I don't want to see Bill go. Because I know what Bill can do. Because Bill showed up, drafted the GOAT, developed the GOAT, won 6 Super Bowls,
Counting.
went to 9. In 20 years, he went to 9 Super Bowls. Most teams would dream of going to 1 Super Bowl in 20 years. Most teams would dream of that. There's some teams that have never been to the big game. Winning 1 Super Bowl is a lifelong dream. Lifelong dream for so many NFL fans. They're just saying, in my 80 years or so on this planet, if my team does it 1 time, I'll be happy.
You stole that quote from me.
No, I didn't. I'm completely off the cuff right here.
Off the cuff? Yeah, well, I'll say it right now. In my 80 years of existence, I hope the Panthers can give me 1.
Exactly. And, that's my point. 1 is a dream. A dream. For so many people. Bill showed up and did it 6 times. 6 times! In 20 years! One other franchise has 6 Super Bowls. No other franchise has that many.
That's not true. Steelers have 6.
One other franchise! Other! Use your ears!
See, he's getting upset now, folks. You can see it. This is what happens when you have a dynasty collapse. This is what happens when a dynasty collapses, folks.
It had to at some point.
Real time, you can see the Patriot fan losing himself.
Well, I'm trying to go through an emotional moment, and you're out here not listening to me, so...
Yeah. Every weekend is an emotional moment as a Panthers fan.
Touché. But anyway, one other franchise has 6. And it took them 50 years to do it. 50. 50. That's half a century for 6 rings. We did it in under 20 years. Say what you will about, oh, who was it, Brady versus Belichick debate. I think those debates are stupid. I think those debates are stupid. Brady doesn't win 6 rings without Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick doesn't win 6 rings without Tom Brady. They were the perfect pair. There was no one individual who was more important to the dynasty than the other. Because Tom Brady had to go out there and he had to quarterback, and he had to quarterback hard, and he had to come up clutch in so many big moments, and boy did he did. But Bill Belichick had to go out there and coach the entire team. He had to get guys motivated, you guys ready to play against the best teams in the league every single week, every single year. He had to build. He built these teams himself. He had to get the talent. He had to get good defense. He had to get good everything. This wasn't all Brady or all Bill. This was both. These were 2 great men working together to achieve something great. Have times without Tom Brady been great for Bill? No, but I don't think the sample size is big enough. People will include Bill's time in Cleveland. Bill took a struggling Browns team and he turned them around. He did. Was he amazing at Cleveland? No, but I thought he was solid. You know, if you get hired for a head coaching job, most of the time, the team isn't in great shape. And with the Cleveland Browns, they're especially not in great shape. He took them to the playoffs. He actually beat the Patriots and his former mentor, Bill Parcells, in the playoffs. And until a couple years ago with Baker Mayfield over the Steelers, that was the last Browns playoff win. If you need the context of how well the Browns have been doing since they fired him. And all the other times without Tom, half those games was because Tom was hurt and he was playing with a backup quarterback. Like, come on now. I don't want to see Bill go. Just because things aren't going great for New England right now doesn't mean that they can't be fixed. And I still have trust in Bill right now. Because Bill is still a great coach. He's a spectacular coach. And the thing with Bill, the offense has been the problem with this team. The defense, every year, has been top 10. You cut Bill, you lose stability on the defensive side of the ball. And trust me, that is hard. Very hard to maintain. And Bill has done it for over 20 years. So, I don't want him to go. Now, if there is Matt Groh needs to go. Get him out. He can't evaluate offensive talent to save his life. Because Bill isn't, handpicking these players. He's got guys who are there to, help him. And Matt Groh is one of the crucial players for the offensive guys. He needs to go. Honestly, for the offense, either Bill has to relinquish a little bit of his GM power on the offensive side of the ball. Continue to make defensive signings all you like, because, he knows what he's doing. But if he gives up some power on the offensive side of the ball, if he's willing to do that, I think things can be better, because this was a team that honestly was maybe 2 good own linemen and 2 good receivers away from being scary. That's not a lot of guys. New England has a lot of cap this offseason now. Do they have a lot of guys to re-sign? Yeah. Onwenu, Duggar are my 2 big ones. Those are my top 2 players to re-sign, but, there's a lot of other guys, and that's something that we'll go over a little more in detail in the future. But even with all those guys who are going to have to re-sign at a higher rate than you're paying now, you still have a lot of cap to work with. Go get a guy. T. Higgins is going to be a free agent next year. Go get him. T. Higgins, Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas? Those guys I'm all of a sudden a little bit worried about if I'm a defense. Resign Zeke. Zeke has been surprisingly good. Like, he's been one of the few consistencies on this team. Did have his best game today, but didn't touch the ball a lot either. So, I don't know. Here's what I do know. I want to see this team win games still. People are like, tank, tank, tank. I'm not a tanker. I want to see him win games. I know Belichick wants to continue winning games, and I know the Crafts want to win games, so tanking isn't happening. I'm gonna root for him to win games. If you ain't, I don't care what you want with the draft and all this stuff. If you get a high draft pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the pick. I don't want Caleb Williams. I don't want Drake May. If you get a mid-round draft pick, either get the best best wide receiver available, or go for a guy like Penix or Bo Nixon or J.J. McCarthy. I'd be fine if we drafted one of those 3 guys. But I don't know if they re-sign Jones. I don't know what they'll do. There's just a lot of wait to see. Because I think a lot of people are trying to pretend that there is drama in New England that's not there. Which is a common theme. People try to pretend that there was some big feud with Brady and Belichick and Kraft over Brady and Garoppolo and everything. And that turned out to be a load of malarkey. And in my experience, most drama surrounding the New England Patriots is made-up media garbage. Because drama sells, and people are very upset that the Patriots had a long dynasty and want to tear them down because they fear the inevitable.
It's always fun when you eat your mic.
So, I mean, that's what I got to say. T-Bone, you got any thoughts?
No, not really. Said them all.
I mean, other than that, it's Colts in Germany, Sunday morning. I don't think we win. Because the Colts score a lot of points. They give up a lot of points, but they also score a lot of points, and we don't. So, I'd like us to win. I'll be rooting for us to win, but just the way the Colts play football, I don't think it matches up well for us right now. So, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't really think there's anything else
Nope.
I want to cover today, so I think that's it. Please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.